Hello, my loves. We're doing another full review today, and I know that some of you are going to be so happy about this because there have been a few of you that have messaged me several times like, Racine, when are you going to do full review, full thoughts of the Witches Compendium? Excuse me, a Compendium of Witches is the name of the Oracle deck. And it's finally time. It's finally time. We have time. We're doing it today. We're doing a full review of a Compendium of Witches Oracle by Natasa Ilincic. I apologize if I am misspelling her name. Now, I believe I purchased the deck myself. A lovely viewer gifted me this beautiful hardcover book, which to me is like in depth into the witch archetypes that are shown here, but also there are, I don't know, I think it gives you a little bit more insight into the creative process. Those were some stickers that I just included. So this was gifted to me by a wonderful viewer. Thank you so much. This you can purchase on her website. I believe I purchased this on Amazon, but I will put a link, whatever link I can find from her website, to purchase this deck yourself if you are interested. But I just wanted to show this beautiful book as well because I think it's a gorgeous addition to having the Oracle deck and the guidebook itself. This certainly isn't necessary, but some of my favorite images in the deck, you know, there's further in-depth discussion on the artist's choices and the archetypes, and indeed in some cases actual witches that she was working with as she created the deck. So this is a really, really beautiful, and I just wanted to include that in this full review. That being said, let's get into all the brass tacks things that I know you guys love to know. So the deck comes in this beautiful box. It says Compendium of Witches on the side. It's produced by Scarabeo. It says, the description for the deck. Beyond the faces of these ancient witches are the stories of wise, strong, and resilient women. Coming from different lands and ages, these magical practitioners share a common trait: a familiarity with a wider world, that of spirits and invisible forces hiding within nature. So it's a 60 card deck with a 160-page color companion book. And then the inside is this nice black. You all know that always makes me happy to see. And then the bottom of the box, black as well. And then here is the guidebook. So as you know, it says 160 pages, but it is in multiple languages. So what you're actually getting content-wise, let me just share that with you, is 45 pages. There, I mean, you know, it says color, but it's really not. It's really not. There's a little bit about, discusses the compendium, and two like sample spreads, which it just discusses. There's no example in artistic representation formed. And then you see here that you get a couple paragraphs, a discussion about the witch for the cards that contain the witch archetypes. There are keywords and then a few paragraphs description. So let me just, because I just want to share. So you'll see for like the witch's tools, you don't have the about the witch section there. I just wanted to offer that to you so that you know that. And so it kind of is, you know, split into two. So she calls the two sections of the 60 cards. There are 30 voices, which are cards depicting witches, and then 30 30 whispers, which are cards depicting additional symbols. So she says here, the deck is designed to be accessible to everyone. My method of reading is centered on the voice cards. The role of the whispers cards is to complement and clarify the voice cards by providing additional meaning, acting as a subordinate clause to a main clause. Remember that this deck is a versatile tool and you should feel free to experiment and try different combinations until you find the best fit for you. For example, you could choose to use voices and whispers separately or to mix them. So I think you should definitely feel affirmed to explore that option for yourself and try both. You know, try using them separately, try using them together. I actually like having the deck combined, and I kind of look at the Voices as like the major arcana that I'm working with in a reading, and then the whispers as the minors, or I wouldn't really look at them as court cards, but I guess you could. So I look at those voices as the big picture themes, those archetypes that we're working with, and then the whispers as additional insight or things that are impacting or that the querent or myself is exploring. I forgot to talk cardstock. I know you guys don't like it when I don't talk cardstock. So here is the backing to the card, really beautiful, kind of this like gorgeous, earthy, kind of Celtic feel to it, in my opinion. Here is the Mystical Manga Tarot to compare the size. You get this nice, it's like not quite Blue Angel size, but it's a little bit bigger than a typical tarot deck. So it's a nice size for an oracle deck. The cardstock is matte and it's relatively stiff. I mean, it's good cardstock. It's going to last a while. If you take care of this deck, there's no reason why it won't last you a while. Sorry guys, I just need to take a sip of tea. So I'm going to show you some of the imagery. First of all, just from an aesthetic perspective, this deck is absolutely stunning. It's just a stunning deck. It's beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. You very much feel that gorgeous, witchy, pagan, earth-based path vibe. And it's a deck that really pulls you in. It is a unique deck. So from even just a collector's perspective, I do think it's a worthy investment. So here is one of the voices. This is the Shapeshifter. I have used this deck in many tarot readings. So here's one of the whispers. So these would be one of the symbols and tools. And you can tell the difference because it's got this white background. There's a lot less going on. It's focused on the sign and symbol as opposed to the archetype of the witch that is more, you feel yourself interacting with that witch herself, right? Like the storyteller here. So I digress. Where was I? Okay, so I've used it as a clarifier in tarot readings for clients. I've used it independently as the main deck in a reading with great success for many clients over the past few months. I will post my unboxing down below because I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this deck. But what I have found, again, similar to Earth and Bone Oracle, which I'm also doing a full review of today, and it's kind of why I wanted to do these two on the same day, is that what I've really found this deck very powerful for is personal work, spiritual growth, spiritual path work, and really connecting with the goddess, faces of the goddess, and her mystery and mysticism on my own path. So it's very much been about exploring and connecting and uniting with these faces of the dark feminine, the sacred feminine on my journey. Then it has been used as a divinatory oracle deck, even though you can absolutely use this deck with success in that regard. I've really enjoyed, and especially over the spring months, I really enjoyed doing this as a daily draw in the morning with my cup of tea and just sitting with the energy and the essence and how I was interacting with it and how I was experiencing this aspect of the witch and how I wanted to embrace that for myself as well. Like I kind of looked at these witches as parts of myself that maybe I wanted to explore that day or hadn't explored that day or week and was being invited to explore. It's really special. It's really, really special. Yeah, this deck is really special. I have to say, I have a really, really soft place in my heart for this deck. And much like the Nameless One Oracle, I can't imagine my collection without those two decks. This deck, Compendium of Witches. I always want to call it Witches Compendium. It's Compendium of Witches. And the Nameless One, I feel like such a deep affinity and love and like sense of sisterhood with these two decks that I actually get really emotional when I talk about it. Like I could start crying right now if I wanted to. This deck is just so, it's not just one aspect of exploring the path of a witch. It's so many myriad faces, and there's such an embracing of that. And incidentally, if you enjoyed the Weaver's Oracle, which I need to do another video on that deck, But if you enjoyed that deck, I think you will also enjoy this deck. It has that same level of integrity and a real unfurling of the myths and the stories that invite you to explore not just the surface level Maiden Mother Crone aspect of the sacred feminine and witchcraft, but to go a little bit deeper. This deck is really special. In addition, it's absolutely beautiful. So if you are a collector, you're also going to, this is one of my favorite images, guys. I mean, for obvious reasons, but come on. Yeah, you're also going to enjoy it just from the beauty of this deck. This is another favorite of mine. It's really, really special deck. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you are on the fence, I say sit with the artwork, and if it calls to you, go for it. But I really want to encourage you to use it for reflection, self-awareness, self-understanding, deepening into your path as a pagan, as a witch, as someone walking an alternative form of spirituality. And also if you are walking with, connecting with the sacred feminine. This deck is such an invitation and a love affair with that energy. I love this one as well. It's just so absolutely beautiful. I want to just find my absolute favorites here to show you. This one is gorgeous. And I like shell as well. And the nice thing with these that I love, much like Earthbound Oracle and Amenti Oracle and oh, there's another one that I love that a very, very dear friend of mine gifted to me that has this very simple symbol. Empty cup, empty something. I can't remember the name of it, but I do have an unboxing of it on the channel. I love those decks for their simplicity. So this is really special. I digress, get sidetracked again. Hold on. Because I do have this one. This is my absolute favorite image, the memory. It's so haunting and so exactly what this card is. Like there's no room for doubt about what this card is saying. And it's just absolutely haunting. Isn't it stunning? So this one and the owl are pretty much my absolute favorite images in the deck, but there's no image that I don't enjoy in this deck. I love this deck. It's absolutely stunning. It's really, really special. And like I said, if you have this deck or if you're considering purchasing it, I really, really want to encourage you to use it from a perspective of sitting with it for the energy, sitting with it and the energies that show up within it as invitations for parts of yourself to explore and ways to connect with the goddess, ways to connect with the sacred feminine. It's just really, it's a really, really special deck. I highly recommend it. So if you are drawn to the artwork, I don't think you're going to regret purchasing it. And like I said, you can use it from a divinatory or clarification perspective, but I think its sweet spot is really in that self-reflection, personal spiritual path, self-growth space. So for those of you who would not let me forget about doing this review, I hope this review has helped you or you found it enjoyable to watch. I am sending you all, as always, much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video.